Days passed, and life in William's house slowly found a new rhythm. The once cold and quiet mansion was now filled with gentle sounds. Emmy humming to herself while reading, Sam playing with his toy cars, Max the golden retriever barking happily. In the garden, William felt joy whenever he saw the children smiling, but he also noticed that sometimes shadows crossed their faces. The children were still adjusting, and every change brought new challenges. One morning, Emma came downstairs, dressed in her new school uniform. Her hands were shaking a little. It was her first day at a new school, and she was nervous about meeting other children. William knelt down, helped her fix her collar, and said softly, "You are brave, Emma. Remember, I will be here waiting for you when school is over." Sam was too young for school, but he stood by the door, holding Emma's hand tightly. William decided to let Sam come along so he wouldn't feel left out. When they reached the school gates, Emma held back, scared to go inside. William gently encouraged her. "You can do this," he whispered. Emma finally went in, looking back one last time before walking through the gates. William watched, feeling worried but hopeful. He took Sam to the park nearby, letting him play on the swings. Sam asked, "Will Emma come back?" William hugged him and said, "Of course. She is just at school. She will be home soon." School Emma faced a new world. The classroom was filled with students who looked at her with curiosity. Some whispered to each other, wondering about the new girl who lives with the rich man. Emma felt their eyes on her. At break time, a group of girls approached. Some were friendly, asking her name and where she came from. But a few were less kind, making rude comments about her old clothes and saying she was lucky to be saved. Emma felt embarrassed. She missed her parents, her old friends, and the simple life she once had. She wondered if she would ever fit in. Back at home, William spent the day with Sam. They painted pictures and made cookies in the kitchen with Mrs. Lopez. Sam giggled as flour got everywhere, even on Max's nose. William realized that these small, happy moments were the building blocks of their new family. When Emma returned from school that afternoon, she looked tired. William noticed the sadness in her eyes. He made her favorite snack, toast with honey, and asked her how school was. Emma hesitated, but then said, "Some kids were nice. Some were not." William listened carefully. He remembered his own childhood, how he felt different because his parents were always working. He promised Emma she could talk to him about anything. As the days went by, Emma slowly started to make friends. A girl named Lily became her first true friend, inviting her to play after school and sharing secrets at lunchtime. Emma began to feel more confident, even joining the school's reading club. She discovered that her love for books helped her connect with other children. But sometimes, Emma heard whispers behind her back. She learned that some parents in the community were talking about her and Sam, saying that William only took them in to make himself look good. One afternoon, Emma overheard two mothers in the schoolyard saying, "He just wanted company. Rich people are always so lonely." Emma felt hurt and confused. She wondered if William really wanted her and Sam, or if they were just helping him fill an empty house. That night, Emma lay awake, staring at the ceiling. Sam noticed and crawled into her bed. "Are you sad?" he whispered. Emma nodded. "Do you think Mr. William wants us here?" Sam hugged her. "He makes me pancakes. He reads me stories. I think he likes us." Emma smiled a little, but the doubts lingered. Meanwhile, William faced his own struggles. Some of his business friends questioned his decision to care for the children. At a dinner party, a wealthy guest laughed and asked, "Are you opening an orphanage now, William?" William felt angry, but stayed calm. "No, I just saw two children who needed help," he answered quietly. The conversation made him realize that people often judge without understanding. William decided to spend even more time with Emma and Sam. On weekends, they visited museums, went hiking in the countryside, and even took short trips to the seaside. William wanted to show them that life was more than just expensive things. It was about memories and togetherness. He noticed that Emma laughed more on these trips, and Sam became braver, asking questions and trying new things. But the biggest Test came one rainy night a few weeks after Emma started school. William was reading in his study when he heard a soft cry. He found Emma and Sam in Emma's room, both in tears. Emma explained that they missed their parents and their old life. "What if you send us away one day?" she asked William, her voice trembling. William knelt beside them and took their hands. "I know you are scared," he said gently. "I cannot replace your parents, and I would never try to. But I promise you both this is your home now. You will never have to leave unless you want to." Tears filled his eyes as he spoke. It was the first time William let himself be completely honest with the children. He told them about his own loneliness, about the emptiness he felt before they came, and about how much better his life was with them there. The children hugged William tightly. In that moment, the invisible wall between them began to break. William realized that being a family was not about money or having a big house. It was about trust, love, and being there for each other. After that night, things began to change. Emma stopped worrying that she would have to leave. She told William about her troubles at school, and he gave her advice and comfort. Sam became more confident, showing William every drawing and story he made. The house grew warmer, not just from the fireplaces, but from the growing bond between the three of them. Mrs. Lopez noticed the difference too. She told William, "You have changed, sir. The house is alive now. There is laughter and love." William smiled, knowing it was true. Still, there were challenges. Emma and Sam sometimes argued, like all siblings. William made sure to listen, to be fair, and to remind them that it was okay to have bad days. They celebrated small victories, winning a prize for a story at school, Sam learning to swim without floaties, William cooking his first meal with their help. One sunny afternoon, Emma, Sam, and William planted a tree in the garden. William explained, "This tree is like our family. It started small, but with care, it will grow strong." Emma tied a ribbon around the trunk and whispered, "We will stay together." Sam nodded, holding both their hands. As the tree's roots took hold in the soil, so did their family roots. In the big mansion, there were not just three people living under one roof, they were becoming a real family. William, Emma, and Sam learned that, while the world could sometimes be unkind or confusing, could always count on each other. And for the first time in a very long time, William no longer felt lonely. His heart was full. The unexpected gift of love had changed all their lives, and together, they looked forward to whatever the future would bring. The next morning felt different in William's house. The usual quiet was now replaced by soft footsteps and the gentle voices of Emma and Sam. William sat at the breakfast table, feeling something he hadn't felt in years. He was not alone. Emma and Sam ate their breakfast quietly at first, but as the minutes passed, their faces began to relax. Emma smiled when Mrs. Lopez served her pancakes just the way she liked, with a little syrup and a small side of fruit. Sam, who was still shy, copied his sister and tried the pancakes too. William watched them, noticing how hungry they both were, but also how careful they were not to waste anything. After breakfast, William invited the children to see the rest of the house. He wanted them to feel comfortable, like it could be their home too. He showed them the big living room with soft couches and a fireplace. He opened the doors to the library filled with books of every kind, picture books, storybooks, books about animals, and even comics. Emma's eyes grew wide when she saw the library. "Can I read these?" she asked quietly. William smiled and nodded. "You can read any book you want. This is your house too." Next, he took them to the garden. The rain had stopped, and the morning sun made the flowers look fresh and bright. Sam spotted a golden retriever running toward them. The dog barked happily, wagging its tail. Sam took a step back, but Emma reached out her hand. "His name is Max," William explained. "He's very friendly." Max sniffed Sam's hand and then licked it, making Sam giggle for the first time. William felt a warm feeling in his heart. He realized these simple things, a laugh, a smile, were what he had been missing all along. William wanted the children to feel safe, so he let them choose what they wanted to do next. Emma wanted to read, so William showed her how to find her favorite kinds of books. Sam wanted to draw, so William brought out a box of colored pencils and paper from his study. The kids spent the morning quietly enjoying these small pleasures. William sat nearby reading his newspaper, but often looking over to watch them. Saw how Emma helped Sam spell out words, and how Sam carefully drew pictures of flowers and a big house. Later that day, William asked Mrs. Lopez to take the children shopping for new clothes and toys. At first, Emma refused, feeling nervous about going out. She worried they might get separated or lost. William knelt down beside her and promised, "You will never be alone again. Mrs. Lopez will take care of you, and I'll be right here when you come back." Emma finally agreed, and Sam held her hand tightly as they left for the store. While they were gone, William called his lawyer, Mr. Green, to ask about what he needed to do to become the children's legal guardian. He explained how he found the children and how much he wanted to take care of them. Mr. Green said there would be some paperwork and checks, but since William was responsible and caring, it would not be too difficult. William felt relieved. He was determined to make sure the children would never have to sleep on the street again. When Emma and Sam returned from shopping, they were carrying bags filled with new clothes, shoes, and a few toys. Emma looked happier, and Sam showed William a toy car he had picked out. William knelt down and thanked them for trusting him. Promised to do everything he could to make their lives better. As the days passed, William worked hard to help Emma and Sam settle into their new home. He hired a private tutor, Miss Parker, to help Emma catch up on her schoolwork and to teach Sam his letters and numbers. Miss Parker was kind and patient, and soon both children enjoyed their lessons. Emma especially loved reading stories about brave girls and magic worlds. She began to share the stories with Sam every night before bed. William also tried to spend more time with the children. In the evenings, they watched movies together in the living room. William let the children pick what to watch, sometimes cartoons, sometimes animal documentaries. Sometimes they just talked. Emma asked William about his childhood. William told them about his mother's apple pies and his father's stories about traveling. He explained that he didn't have any brothers or sisters, which is why he always felt alone. Emma and Sam slowly began to feel safer. At first, Emma would wake up at night, afraid that they would have to leave, but after a few weeks, she started to believe William when he said they could stay. Sam became more talkative, running to William every time he drew a new picture or built something out of blocks. William put Sam's drawings on the fridge, making him proud. Still, the adjustment was not always easy. Sometimes Emma cried when she remembered her parents. She missed her mother's hugs and her father's laughter. William comforted her, telling her that it was okay to be sad and that her parents would always love her. He promised that she would always have a home with him. One afternoon, Emma asked William if they could visit the park. William agreed and took them to the biggest park in the city. There, the children ran and played on the swings and slides. William watched from a bench, feeling happy, but also worried. He hoped he was doing enough to help them feel loved and wanted. After the park, they stopped for ice cream. As they ate, Emma suddenly said, "Thank you for bringing us here." William felt tears in his eyes, but he smiled and said, "You are welcome. I'm glad you're here." Sam hugged William, surprising him. For the first time, William felt like a father, but not everyone was happy with the change. Some people in William's social circle gossiped about him. They wondered why a rich man would take in 2 orphans. Some said he only did it for attention. William ignored them, focusing only on the children's happiness. He knew that the only thing that mattered was the family they were building together. William noticed the children becoming more confident. Emma started making friends with other kids in the neighborhood. "Same? I can do it." William laughed and cheered for him. At night, the house was no longer silent. Laughter echoed through the halls, and William felt a sense of peace he had never known. He realized that his life had changed forever, and he would never be lonely again. Emma and Sam were not just guests, they were his family now. William decided to start a new tradition. Every Sunday, they would cook a meal together, each person choosing a dish. The first Sunday, they made spaghetti, with Sam helping to stir the sauce and Emma setting the table. William took a picture of them, planning to make an album of their memories together. As time went on, Emma and Sam learned to trust William. and William learned to open his heart. The big, empty mansion became a real home filled with love and hope. William knew that the journey was just beginning, but he was ready to face anything with Emma and Sam by his side. The story begins with a man named William Carter, who is known in the city as a very rich businessman. He owns many companies, lives in a big, beautiful house, and drives the most expensive cars. People see him as successful, but what they don't know is that William feels very lonely inside. His house is full of luxury, but there is no one to share it with. Years ago, he had a wife, but their marriage ended, and they had no children. His parents had passed away, and his friends were mostly just business partners. William spends most evenings eating alone at a long dining table with only the sound of the clock ticking in the background. Even though he could buy anything he wanted, he always felt that something important was missing in his life. One rainy evening after finishing a long day at work, William decided to drive himself home instead of letting his driver take him. He liked driving at night because it gave him time to think. As he was passing through an old part of the city, he saw something that caught his eye. Near a broken bus stop, two small children were sitting close together, trying to stay dry under a piece of cardboard. The street was almost empty, and the few people walking by did not pay any attention to the kids. William slowed down his car and watched for a moment. The children looked tired, cold, and hungry. Their clothes were dirty and wet, and they had no shoes on their feet. Something inside William told him to stop. He parked his car and stepped out, holding an umbrella over his head. As he walked closer, the children looked up at him with wide, scared eyes. William could see that the older child was a girl, about 8 years old, and the younger was a boy, maybe 5. They looked at him, unsure if he was there to help or hurt them. William spoke gently. "Are you okay? Where are your parents?" The little girl, Emma, did not answer at first. She held her brother Sam close and watched William carefully. After a moment, she said, "Our mama and papa are gone. We don't have anywhere to go." William felt a deep sadness for them. He remembered his own childhood, feeling alone even when his parents were alive because they were always busy with work. He did not want to leave these children alone on the street, especially on such a cold, rainy night. He asked them if they had eaten anything, and Emma shook her head. William went to his car, got a small box of cookies he kept in the glove compartment, and handed it to them. The children ate hungrily, and William could see how hungry they were. He realized that he could not just leave them there. He called his driver and asked him to bring some warm clothes and blankets from the car's emergency kit. Then he asked the children if they would like to come with him. "You can come to my house tonight. I have a warm place, food, and beds for you. You don't have to be scared," he said softly. Emma looked at Sam, and after a few seconds, she nodded. William gently helped them into his car, making sure they were comfortable and safe. As they drove through the city, William tried to make them feel better by telling them about his house, the big garden, and the friendly dog that lived there. The children listened quietly, still holding hands tightly. When they arrived at William's mansion, the children could not believe their eyes. The house was big, with beautiful lights and a long driveway. It looked like a palace compared to the cold streets they had just left. William led them inside, and his housekeeper, Mrs. Lopez, came to greet them. "We're surprised to see William with 2 wet, shivering children." William explained quickly, "They need our help tonight. Can you please make them something warm? To eat and prepare 2 rooms for them?" Mrs. Lopez nodded with a gentle smile and hurried to the kitchen. While the children waited, William brought out some towels and helped them dry off. He found clothes that might fit them and showed them to their rooms, each with a soft bed and clean sheets. At dinner, Emma and Sam ate quietly but quickly, not used to so much food. William watched them and felt happy seeing them eat, but he also knew that they were still scared and confused. After dinner, William showed them the house. There was a playroom, a big library, and even a piano. But the children were tired and soon fell asleep, holding on to each other in Emma's room. That night, William could not sleep. He kept thinking about the children, how they ended up alone, how frightened they must be, and what would happen to them if he had not stopped. He made up his mind to do everything he could to help them, not just for one night, but for as long as they needed. He realized that maybe this was the reason he had always felt something missing in his life. Early the next morning, William sat at the kitchen table, sipping his coffee, when Mrs. Lopez came in. She said that the children were awake and asked if they could eat breakfast with him. William smiled and said, "Of course." When Emma and Sam walked into the kitchen, they were wearing the new clothes and looking much better. William greeted them warmly and invited them to sit with him. The breakfast table was filled with eggs, toast, fruit, and juice. William tried to make them feel comfortable. He asked them simple questions about what they liked to eat, their favorite colors, and if they liked dogs. Slowly, Emma began to answer, saying she liked pink and that Sam loved pancakes. William laughed and promised they would have pancakes for lunch. During breakfast, William learned a little more about the children. Their parents had died in an accident a few weeks ago. They tried to stay with neighbors, but there was no one who could take care of them for long. Eventually, they ended up alone on the streets, trying to survive day by day. William listened carefully, feeling more and more responsible for their safety and happiness. As the sun came up and filled the house with light, William thought about what to do next. He decided to call a family lawyer to find out how he could help the children stay with him legally. He also made plans to buy them new clothes, toys, and everything they needed. But most of all, he promised himself that he would be there for them, not just as a rich man, but as someone who truly cared. William did not know what the future would bring, but he felt something new inside, a little bit of hope, and maybe, just maybe, the beginning of a real family. Ask ChatGPT. The days after the adoption felt like a new beginning for William, Emma, and Sam. The house was brighter and busier than ever. Every morning started with laughter and busy feet running down the stairs. Emma was the first to wake up, excited too. Help Mrs. Lopez in the kitchen. She liked learning how to make pancakes and scrambled eggs, and soon she was teaching Sam how to crack eggs without making a mess. William joined them, enjoying the cheerful noise and the delicious smell of breakfast. After breakfast, the family started new routines. Emma went to school every day, walking hand in hand with her friend Lily, while Sam spent his mornings with Miss Parker, learning letters, numbers, and fun songs. William tried to adjust his work schedule so he could spend more time with the children. He often drove Emma to school himself, asking about her lessons and her friends. Emma felt proud, knowing her new father cared about her life. William was also changing in small ways. He smiled more and worried less about things that once seemed important. He started to enjoy the little things like helping Sam build a tower of blocks or reading a storybook to Emma before bed. William began writing in a journal every night, recording his thoughts and the moments that made him happy. He realized he was no longer lonely. His heart felt full every day. On weekends, the family planned fun activities together. Sometimes they went to the zoo or the park. Sometimes they watched movies and made popcorn at home. One Saturday, William took Emma and Sam to a children's museum where they explored rooms full of puzzles and games. Sam loved the science room with all the spinning wheels and flashing lights. Emma enjoyed the art room, making a painting to hang in the hallway. At home, the family also found ways to give back. William remembered what it felt like to be alone, so he suggested they help other children in need. Together, they visited a local orphanage, bringing boxes of toys, books, and warm clothes.
Wow.
Emma and Sam played games with the other kids, sharing stories and laughter. William sat with the director, offering support and planning new ways to help. It made him proud to see Emma and Sam caring for others, and he knew he was teaching them something important: how to be kind and generous. As time passed, Emma and Sam grew more confident. Emma joined the school's storytelling club, reading aloud to younger children every Friday. Her teachers noticed how much she had grown, not just in her studies, but also in her courage. Sam learned to ride his bicycle without training wheels, showing off his new skills in the park while William cheered him on. Neighbors who once whispered now greeted William and the children warmly, happy to see them become a real family. At home, the family made new traditions. Every Sunday they cooked dinner together, each choosing a favorite dish. Emma loved making Spaghetti Sam enjoyed mixing the salad, and William always prepared dessert. They took turns telling stories around the table, laughing at Sam's silly jokes and Emma's wild imagination. William took pictures and made a scrapbook of their best memories, a gift they all cherished. Even though things were better, there were still moments of sadness. Sometimes Emma missed her real parents and cried quietly at night. William sat with her, holding her hand, telling her it was okay to feel sad. He reminded her that her parents would always be part of her heart, and that she had a new family now that loved her very much. Sam sometimes had bad dreams, waking up in the middle of the night. When that happened, William let him sleep in his bed, comforting him until he fell asleep again. William also continued to grow. He learned how to listen, how to say sorry, and how to be patient when things didn't go as planned. He realized that being a parent wasn't always easy, but it was the most meaningful thing he had ever done. He thanked Mrs. Lopez often for her help and kindness, and he made sure she felt like part of the family too. As the first year together passed, William, Emma, and Sam decided to celebrate. They threw a big party in their garden, inviting friends, neighbors, and everyone who had helped them along the way. The garden was filled with colorful balloons and long tables covered with food. There were games for the children and music for everyone to dance. Emma gave a little speech, thanking William for giving her and Sam a home and for always loving them. William hugged both children, feeling more proud and grateful than ever before. One evening after the party, William took Emma and Sam outside to look at the stars. They sat together on a blanket in the garden, wrapped in warm sweaters. "Do you see that big star?" William asked, pointing to the sky. "That's our family star. It reminds us that even when things are hard, we will always have each other." Emma leaned her head on William's shoulder, and Sam hugged his arm. "I'm glad you found us," Emma whispered. William smiled, feeling his heart swell with love. As months turned into years, the family only grew stronger. Emma did well in school and dreamed of becoming a teacher. Sam wanted to be an artist, always drawing pictures of their family, their home, and Max the dog. William supported their dreams, telling them they could do anything if they worked hard and stayed kind. The story of the lonely millionaire and the two orphaned children became well known in the city. People admired William for his kindness and courage. But for William, Emma, and Sam, the only thing that mattered was the love they shared. Their house, once cold and empty, became a place of happiness and hope. Their lives were forever changed, because of money or luck, but because of their choice to care for one another. In the end, William learned the greatest lesson of all. Family is not just about blood or birth, but about love, trust, and never giving up on each other. Emma and Sam taught him to open his heart. Together, they built a life full of laughter, adventure, and love, a real family, stronger than anything money could buy. And so, the lonely millionaire story had a happy ending, but also a new beginning, one filled with hope, kindness, and the promise that no one in their family would ever feel alone again. One bright Saturday morning, William woke up early to the sound of laughter echoing through the halls. It was Emma and Sam playing hide and seek, giggling as they tried to outsmart each other. William smiled, feeling a warmth in his heart he never thought possible. He realized these small, joyful moments meant more than all the business deals he had ever made. As he walked into the kitchen, he saw Mrs. Lopez preparing breakfast and humming a tune, the smell of fresh pancakes filling the air. Emma burst in, out of breath from running, and Sam ran after her, trying to tag her. The house, once so silent, now felt alive. That day, William had planned something special. He wanted to make new memories with Emma and Sam, so he organized a family picnic in their garden. They spread a big blanket under the shade of a tall oak tree, bringing out baskets of sandwiches, fruit, and juice. Max, their loyal dog, rolled in the grass, chasing butterflies. Emma helped Mrs. Lopez set up the food, while Sam arranged the plates. William sat back and watched the children laugh and talk, feeling grateful for their presence. During the picnic, Emma looked thoughtful. She turned to William and asked, "Can we invite some of my friends from school next time?" William nodded, happy to see her making connections. He wanted her to feel like any other child, not just someone who had been rescued. Sam, who was munching on an apple, asked if he could invite his new friend from the park. William agreed, telling them both that their home was open for their friends too. After the picnic, they played games together. William, who hadn't played tag or catch since he was a child himself, found himself running and laughing with Emma and Sam. He realized he was rediscovering the joy of simple things, something he had forgotten in his adult life. When the sun began to set, they all lay down on the blanket and watched the clouds change colors. Emma pointed out shapes in the sky, making everyone laugh with her funny ideas. Sam snuggled close to William, and for a moment it felt like time stood still. But as the days went by, something unexpected happened that challenged their new family. One afternoon, William received a letter from a lawyer. The letter said that a distant relative of Emma and Sam's parents had heard about the children and wanted to meet them. The lawyer explained that this relative, Mrs. Randall, claimed she had the right to take the children in, since she was their late father's cousin. William felt his heart sink. He had grown so close to Emma and Sam, and the thought of losing them filled him with fear. William did not want to hide the truth from the children. That evening, he sat down with Emma and Sam in the living room, explained as gently as he could about the letter and the relative who wanted to meet them. Emma grew quiet, and Sam clung to her side, his eyes wide with worry. William reassured them, "No matter what happens, I will always care for you. We will face this together." The next week, Mrs. Randall came to visit. She was a tall, serious woman with sharp eyes. She said she wanted the best for Emma and Sam, but she hardly smiled or listened to what they liked. She asked many questions, not just about the children, but also about William and his house. Emma tried to be polite, but she felt uncomfortable. Sam hid behind Emma's chair, refusing to talk. After the visit, Mrs. Randall spoke to William in private. She said she would go to court to get custody of the children. William felt helpless, afraid that all the happiness he had built with Emma and Sam would be taken away. He called his lawyer, Mr. Green, who promised to help fight for the children's best interests. The next days were tense. William tried to keep life normal for Emma and Sam, but they could sense his worry. Emma asked one night, "Will we have to leave?" William hugged her close and said, "I will do everything I can to keep you here. But if things change, it is not your fault. You are loved." Sam cried quietly, not wanting to be sent away from the only home where he finally felt safe. The court case came quickly. William dressed in his best suit, holding Emma and Sam's hands as they entered the courtroom. Mrs. Randall was there with her lawyer, arguing that she was family and should raise the children. William spoke honestly to the judge, telling the story of how he found Emma and Sam and how they had built a real family together. Mrs. Lopez and Ms. Parker came to the court and spoke kindly about how much William cared for the children and how much the children had grown since coming to his home. Emma was nervous, but when the judge asked if she wanted to say anything, she stood up bravely. "Mr. William is our family now," she said. "He loves us and takes care of us. We want to stay with him." Sam nodded, squeezing Emma's hand. There was silence in the courtroom after Emma spoke. The judge listened to everyone. After a long pause, the judge said, "The most important thing is the children's happiness and safety." The judge looked at Emma and Sam and saw the love in their eyes for William. The judge decided that Emma and Sam could stay with William as long as he continued to care for them and provide a loving home. When the judge finished speaking, Emma cried tears of relief and Sam hugged William tightly. William thanked the judge, feeling a great weight lift from his shoulders. Mrs. Randall left without saying much, realizing that the children belonged where they were happiest. The days after the court case were filled with joy and relief. William, Emma, and Sam celebrated by going to the zoo, riding the carousel, and eating ice cream together. William felt a sense of peace he had never known before. The worry was gone, replaced by hope and gratitude. With the legal questions finally settled, William decided to make things official. He began the process of adopting Emma and Sam, wanting them to be his family in every way. He included them in every step, explaining what adoption meant And how? It would bring them even closer. Emma and Sam were excited, making drawings and cards that said, "Thank you for choosing us." The adoption day was special. William invited everyone who had helped them, Mrs. Lopez, Miss Parker, even some of Emma's new friends and their parents. The house was decorated with balloons and flowers. Emma wore a pretty dress, and Sam wore his favorite blue shirt. That's when. The judge read the final papers. William hugged Emma and Sam tightly. "We are a family forever now," he whispered. From that day, William felt his life had changed for the better in every way. The emptiness he once felt was gone, replaced by laughter, love, and a sense of belonging. Emma and Sam were no longer orphans. They were William's children. And William was no longer a lonely millionaire. He was a proud father, ready for whatever challenges and joys the future would bring. The family's story had not been easy, but together they had overcome every obstacle. And as they looked forward to tomorrow, they knew that the best was yet to come. You said. Part 5 KO, expand KRO without heading 1300 words, my and simple.